Let's talk Jalen Suggs. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. With me, Sam Vecenie, the draft guru. We're talking a 6'4" point guard, 205 pounds. He's 20 years old. This is just a flat-out winner. That's what he is. He should go really high in this draft. Sam, what are your just thoughts on his offensive game and what he brings to the table?
Yeah, Jalen Suggs. I don't know if you knew this, Andrew. They only said it on every single Gonzaga broadcast this year. But did you know Jalen Suggs used to play football?
What?
Isn't that crazy?
Are you? Newsflash, everybody.
He's the first person to win Mr. Football and Mr. Basketball in the state of Minnesota. No way. Yeah, look, I love Jalen Suggs. I'm just going to say it. Jalen Suggs is the number 2 player on my board this year. And it is in large part due to the complete nature of his game, while also combining that with an intense competitive level. This is a dude who wants the ball in the biggest moments. He showed that with the big shot against UCLA. And it's even more than that. Like, you can just see in the way that he conducts himself. You can see in the way that he operates on the court. I mean, this guy is just a stud at the end of the day. This is the guy, other than Cade Cunningham, who for me is like in a tier to his own. I think that anyone who's got someone else at number 1 is kind of overthinking it a little bit. But any of those guys 2 through 4, Suggs, Green, and Mobley, I think are in the conversation, and every evaluator is going to have their guy. My guy's Jalen Suggs at number 2.
Yeah, he kind of does it all, but my favorite thing about him is just his competitive nature. I mean, Every single game, he is bringing it. You always know where he is on the court at all times. He's always making an impact on both ends. And he's a point guard, but he's got good enough size to defend multiple positions. And just the absolute, psychopath tenacity that he has on a night-to-night basis just makes me believe in him so much.
Yeah, look, I think that, there were a couple games there where he was I can kind of take a back seat, right? Gonzaga was really good. They had the best team in the country this year, other than Baylor, apparently, right? Over the course of the season, Gonzaga was number 1 for 85% of the year because, they had Corey Kispert, they had Drew Timme, they had the deepest roster in the country, right? They had Andrew Nembhard sitting there. I mean, it was ridiculous watching Gonzaga. Joel Ayayi's really good. He was able to, I think it's an underrated skill to be able to fit into a really good team already and not just fit in, but also emerge as the guy, right?
Yeah.
Corey Kispert was the leader and, the guy who's been there 4 years. And if you ask anyone around the program, they'll speak glowingly about the way that Kispert, was the leader of the team. But Jalen Suggs was kind of the attitude of the team. And he was the guy that really made a difference this year from Gonzaga, taking them from really great mid-major team that was probably going to sit in the top 10 all year to team that was 1 win away from going undefeated. They just never really, in all of the years that Mark Few has been there, and he's been there forever, and he has had one of the most successful runs of any coach within college basketball. He's just never had a dude that has this kind of bounce and this kind of juice athletically and the ability to create plays for himself. So, Jalen Suggs is just an absolute, he's the kind of guy that I like to bet on, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah, let's talk about him as an offensive creator. What do you see in him as a guy that can generate offense?
Yeah, so a guy I think that is really able to create his own shot due to his athleticism, due to his kind of explosiveness in first step, right? And the biggest part of it for me is that he has a real creativity level and there's a real uncertainty about how he's going to attack the defense every single time he comes down. With Jalen Green, he's going to go and score, right?
Yep.
And he's so good at it then it almost doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter that he's going to try and score. With Jalen Suggs, that is, realizing they're both named Jalen in my head now. Yeah. With Jalen Suggs, Jalen is a really good pick and roll passer. He is an exceptional transition passer. Throws the Hail Mary football passes, throws the crazy like pocket passes and full court bounce past dimes. Like it's ridiculous what he can do in transition. But more than that, in half court, he's able to run out of a ball screen, and you never know if he's going to go and pull up for a floater, if he's going to drive all the way to the rim and finish at the rim because he's so strong and powerful. It's really hard to knock him off his axis at the basket. Or if he's going to pull up for three, you can't really go under his ball screens. He's not an elite shooter yet, but he's good enough whenever you give him time and space to where teams aren't going to be able to just like go way under his ball screen and score. And on top of that, like I said, like he makes high level passing reads and has the kind of athleticism and juice athletically to be able to get past his man whenever he needs to get past his man. So Jalen Suggs is kind of a very well-rounded player who just needs to continue to hone those skills as much as anything. It's not necessarily he needs to add something to his game. He needs to just like kind of hone everything that he does.
Yeah. Well, let's talk weaknesses. Where do you see weakness in his game?
Yeah, I want to see where he settles in as a jump shooter, first and foremost. Yeah. A guy that over the course of his career was definitely more, and this goes back to high school, was more in like the 65 to 70 range from the foul line. Didn't really consistently, let's say, hit a high degree of shots from three over the course of his career, but proved that whenever you give him time and space, he can knock them down. At the end of the day, he's going to be a guy that teams rely on to create shots from his own that are likely contested. He needs to be able to get to the point where he is a contested shot maker, not just a defender goes way under on a ball screen, I can flatten out and I can knock down a shot from three, right? I think that that's really the number one thing. I do think that at the end of the day, he does need to, I don't want to say improve the defensive intensity, but maybe improve the defensive consistency that he has. Night in, night out, he was a good defender, but you could see when he turned it on the ball. Like there are times where defender or offensive players have no chance of getting by him, right? Because he's so big, he's so strong, he's so laterally quick. He was just an absolute terror on ball defensively at times. I would like to see that more from him. And I would like to see him additionally continue to hone his reads when kind of, processing where help defenders are in making passing reads. He's okay at it now. He's probably above average for it. I would like to see him get to the point where he is great at it. So a lot of the skills are things that he already, or a lot of the weaknesses are things that he already has in his bag to some extent, but not quite to the extent where he's going to be like first year NBA All-Star, right?
Sure. Let's talk fit and range. So let's first talk, where's he going to go in this draft? There's a lot of good players at the top of this draft. He's probably the smallest guy, which I think probably goes against him, which, I mean, it traditionally goes against players. This is basketball. It's played by big, strong guys who have great length and athleticism. Sure. And if you walk in, you're 6'4", you're already at a disadvantage. But where do you see him going in this draft?
Yeah, I would say the range is anywhere 2 through 5 right now. I would be surprised if he got beneath 5. I think I would even be surprised if he got beneath 4, if only for the same reasons that we talked about previously with Jalen Green, right? The Toronto Raptors need that game-breaking player at number 4. And I think Jalen Suggs, just with his athleticism level, has a chance to be that guy. I think he would be an unbelievable fit with Toronto. I really hope he ends up there too. I mean, I feel like we've said we hope everyone ends up in Toronto.
I know.
But it's because they have such a significant hole for that number one top guy, while also having the infrastructure, not only in terms of developmental track record, but also in terms of just the dudes on the roster. Like OG Anunoby's a perfect 3-and-D player who can guard 1 through 5 genuinely, and he's one of the 5 guys in the NBA that you can legitimately say that about. Pascal Siakam has made an All-NBA team. Fred VanVleet, he is such a perfect fit next to Jalen Green, or next to Jalen Suggs and Jalen Green, frankly, but Jalen Suggs, because they can both play on and off the ball, and they're both very good on-ball defenders. It would just fit from a mentality perspective, I think, really, really well. Obviously, Gary Trent can knock down shots at an exceedingly high level, so Toronto, again, I really hope that Jalen Suggs ends up in Toronto. I think it'd be such a fantastic fit. I also will say, though, too, this is the guy that, to me, makes a lot of sense for Cleveland. If I was Cleveland, I would really be hoping that he falls to me, because while they have taken multiple high-level lead guards back-to-back, I think that they're going to have to make a decision on moving one of those two guys at some point. I've never really been a big fan of the fit of Darius Garland and Colin Sexton, even though I really like both of those players in a vacuum, like by themselves. I think Colin Sexton is genuinely like one of the better scorers for his age we've seen, and maybe, you know, statistically, I think he's like one of the 30 best scorers for his age we've seen in NBA history. I like Darius Garland even more than that. Like, I think Darius has really improved his passing ability and really obviously can knock down shots from 30 feet and beyond, while also being such a creative ball handler who can do a lot of different stuff. So I look at Jalen Suggs as a guy that would fit with either of those two guys, depending on the direction that Cleveland would want to go in the future. But they need to move one of those guys. And I would venture it'd be Colin Sexton, because Colin is coming up for a contract extension a little bit sooner than where Darius Garland is. And Jalen Suggs, again, with the ability to play on and off ball, with his on-ball defensive prowess and intensity, I think he'd be just an absolutely spectacular fit with Darius Garland in the backcourt.